Hi everyone, Alex here, the CEO at AirOps. Really excited to have with me Chris from Rare Candy. Chris, do you want to just introduce yourself and tell people a little bit about Rare Candy and what it does?
Yeah, thanks, Alex. Hi, everyone. I'm Chris. I'm the CEO of Rare Candy. We are a collectibles marketplace for nerds. We focus on trading card games and other collectibles based on fan favorite IPs.
Awesome. I was a big X-Men card trader when I was younger, but that's about it. Oh, and the Spice Girls cards for a bit in the UK were a big rage, but I can't say I'm cool enough to have Pokemon collectibles. But it would be really great to just hear a little bit about some of the challenges that you look to solve with AirOps and maybe a little bit about your journey and what you created.
Yeah, so Rare Candy is an authenticated marketplace that caters to serious collectors. And so we are trying to create a more polished shopping experience where buyers can actually learn more about the actual collectibles. And so we were trying to build a differentiated seller experience that made it much easier for power sellers on platforms like eBay to upload cards, not just sort of the way they do on eBay today, which is a bit of a disaster, but actually with sort of compelling metadata, descriptions, and high quality photos. And so we first got interested in using AirOps as a way to build much better workflows to help automate these seller tasks while still keeping quality high.
Awesome. And I guess just to really clearly say this, why is the listing quality such a lever for you guys, and why does it help with the overall health of the marketplace?
Yeah, it helps in a couple of cases. I mean, one, I think just in terms of having credibility with buyers and being able to make informed shopping decisions. If you look on eBay, you often see very low resolution photos and you see descriptions that are nothing more than a little bit of information about how the seller works. And so if you're researching what your next collectible purchase should be, those are incredibly unhelpful. Secondly, the better the metadata, the more you have sort of likelihood of getting indexed by Google and ranking high in SEO. And this is actually a traffic acquisition play as well, to have well set up listings.
Awesome. And then, obviously we as AirOps kind of really believe in allowing the whole team to build with language models and including more people than just the engineering team. Who in your team was able to sort of take advantage of the product, and how did that go down?
Yeah, we actually had parallel paths where both our engineering team and our go-to-market team was using AirOps for related but slightly different use cases. So in engineering, one of our full stack but mobile-focused engineers was actually able to fully build out a pipeline where as sellers add inventory to their store, we actually generate high-quality product descriptions and keywords for those listings, saving potentially tens of hours per week for our power sellers. And then on another part of our business, so we actually run some very high-end spectacle auctions, and for them, the go-to-market team wants to create sort of marketing materials around the specific, very high-end items there. And so again, we used AirOps to take a very little summary of information on what that collectible is and flesh it out into fully blown content around those items.
I love to hear multiple teams using us for different things. That's always music to my ears. Just kind of thinking forward a little bit to kind of the role of AI in the marketplace, in your marketplace execution. How do you think about the kind of various initiatives and opportunities that exist in the year ahead? Like, what's getting you really excited that you'd like to dive into further?
Yeah, I think what's really exciting for me is that AirOps and AI allows us to really rapidly prototype certain areas that might be potential growth drivers for the company. And then when those tests hopefully succeed, really scale them out with very low sort of investment of new resources. So we're a pretty lean team. We like staying small and being able to have a lot of impact per headcount. And so just as an example, we're currently working on building out SEO tests where we can use our in-house expertise to create some prototypes of different content angles and pages that we want to create, and then use those as templates with AirOps to then go actually flesh out a full page footprint and eventually hundreds or thousands of pages as a way of growing free traffic to our site.
Love that. And certainly a big part of our business, probably 30%, is people using AirOps for sort of high-scaled long tail content creation of various sorts. I think something you mentioned a couple of times was this kind of notion of tests and experiments and prototypes. And I think as sort of language models and kind of AI stack matures, a lot of theoretical capabilities kind of emerge, but actually it really requires a lot of experimentation to figure out what's going to really work and move numbers versus what's maybe a little bit more of a kind of POC, maybe next generation of model will become feasible. So maybe just would love to hear a little bit about how you encourage experimentation in the team and how you get people kind of thinking about these new technologies in whatever role they're at, because it sounds like you've done a great job of that so far.
That's a really hard question. I think at a high level, I think where you start is hiring people and motivating people around personal growth, right? And so At Rare Candy, we frame AI as this is where the future of work is going across many different types of roles. We also pride ourselves in being efficient with capital and being able to punch above our weight. And so all of that leads us to a conclusion of, I expect every single team and every single employee to test and experiment with sort of whatever tools can make us more effective at our job. And for the last probably 6 months, AI has been the obvious focus of that.
Yeah, it's amazing how with each generation of model and each sort of 6 months that passes, there's a whole new host of kind of opportunities, and then takes these domain experts in growth and in marketing and product and engineering to take that kind of POC and drive it to a real production system. And that's where we often, I think, see people kind of underestimating the work to be done. There's been so many demos of things that never make their way to real production usage, and understanding that gap in whatever domain you're in is really important to being able to kind of take the promise and deliver the outcome. So sounds like you're experimenting on a whole bunch of fronts, and we're really excited to have you as a customer. I guess, like, for organizations or other kind of maybe marketplaces, e-commerce businesses that are, maybe haven't started to play with these technologies at scale, any thoughts or words of advice for them on kind of where they should start or how to get the ball rolling?
Yeah, I think the way that I've thought about it is, think about what processes or repetitive tasks, take up 50% of teams or people's times, and then think about what if you could make that work sort of essentially go to AI, and then you could spend, that team or that person's time thinking creatively about like what the next best version of that could look like. So for example, we spend a lot of time creating marketing assets for products newly listed on our marketplace. That's a relatively templatized process that can take quite a bit of time today. If we can figure out how to automate that with AI, not just for ourselves, but for our sellers, we can actually dramatically increase the amount of sort of successful promotion and marketing onto our site. But then I can also take, our social media marketer who is focused on those things previously and have them work, again, potentially enabled by AI, on innovating like new forms of promo, new templates, right? New channel strategies. And so I really think about it as like, it doesn't replace sort of human creativity and problem solving, but it's an amazing tool to both like help make that easier and then scale out what's working and let that person move on to sort of like the next big unlock.
Yeah, totally agree with that. And I think we've seen universally that the kind of role of building a process, testing it, and then figuring out how to improve throughput using AI is probably one of the primary kind of applications of it, because you do still want human oversight. You still do need a kind of human to be monitoring and looking at outputs, and there's often so many things that we want to get to with the time we get back from this. So yeah, almost universally we've seen this as a tool for our amplification of human creativity and then increasing of efficiency. Well, thank you so much for your time today. Any final thoughts for folks listening? Should they come to Rare Candy for their next gift for their loved one or something?
Yes. If you have kids, we are a great place to buy even an affordable selection of modern Pokemon products. And if you're looking for something special for the nerd in your life, we have the higher end items as well. And yeah, I think I would just close by saying, AirOps has made using AI as an innovation edge at Rare Candy so much faster and easier. And I think not only has it had a huge impact on our business, but it has helped our team feel excited and motivated at our product direction and sort of their own abilities to grow. So it's been a great positive energy boost for the company in many different ways.
Awesome. And we're excited to support you guys in all the great things you're building now and next. So thanks for your time today, Chris. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Alex.